And it's gone. There it is. This road to... What's that? Oh, yeah.
Live from Rapid City, Post 22 Baseball is on the air. It's a very special night here at the ballpark. It's Little League night, honoring our local Little League baseball players here in our community of Rapid City. And it's a big showdown as well between the Spearfish Spartans and your Post 22 Hardhats. With that being said, we say good evening and we welcome you inside our press box here from Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. Mark Benetti alongside you in Rudy's Corner here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM. 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Post 22, a fantastic weekend of baseball last week. 5 games played against 2 different opponents, 5 wins collected on the weekend, sweeping a doubleheader Friday against the Sheridan Troopers, a doubleheader on Saturday against the Dickinson Rough Riders, and then a final third game against Dickinson on Sunday as well. Sunday's matchup was very near something special as Zach Cholis entered the final inning of regulation 3 outs away from a no-hitter and just fell short. He went 6+ innings in the start. He fanned a season-high 11 at the plate, walked 4 as well, only allowed a hit throughout his entire tenure as the starter on Sunday. Now the Hardhats turn to an even bigger week of baseball. Not only do they kick it off tonight against Spearfish Post 164, but also they will eventually play host to 4 different opponents from outside of Rapid City this week in the Veterans Classic. And that'll start on Thursday night. So it should be a great time for everybody once Thursday rolls around. And the tournament is underway officially. Post 22 playing in the Veterans Classic once again. It's one of their more commonplace tournaments, as is the Firecracker as well. So Post 22 will start off that playing against Excelsior Minnetonka. That's a big Central Plains regional rival that the Hardhats have played over the years. And either the Firecracker, this tournament, regional play, the Gopher Classic going to Minnesota. So great to see Minnetonka come into town. And then on Friday, they'll take on the NOCO Roughnecks. On Saturday, they'll play a doubleheader, taking on Taconic, Minnesota, and then they'll play against the Billings Royals, who actually handed the Hardhats their very first loss of the season. So a great pool of talent. The Expos are going to play in the tournament as well, so there could be a chance, depending on how things play out on Sunday, that maybe the Hardhats and the Expos go head-to-head. I don't know if they would necessarily allow that, but what kind of a story that would be if both teams got to meet up and take each other on. Both head coaches are meeting at home plate with our umpires tonight, Chris Groves and Greg McNabb. And with them exchanging the lineup cards, let's go ahead and actually give you what is written on those lineup cards. Starting lineups for both sides in tonight's matchup. Tonight is a single 9-inning game. Spearfish, they'll bat in the top halves of 9 innings of regulation. Here's how their lineup follows. Leading off is number 4, Taylor Janovi. He's playing at second base. Batting second is number 23, Cody Garnis. He is patrolling left field. Batting third is number 9, Zach Kozel. He is the starting pitcher on the mound. In the cleanup position is number 21, Connor Glassford, and he's the backstopper and catcher. Batting fifth is number 25, Parker Laux in the hot corner at third base. Batting sixth is number 10, Drew Gusso. He's out at the shortstop position. Batting seventh is number 31, Cameron Cook. He's out at first base. Batting eighth is number 2, David Zocker. He's patrolling right field. Rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for Spearfish is number 1, Taylor Woods, and he is patrolling center field. Again, Zach Kozel, number 9, is on the mound for Spearfish, and he will take on the Hardhats lineup as follows in the bottom halves of our 9 innings of regulation tonight. Leading off for the Hardhats, back in the lineup after suffering a lower body injury, a minor one at that, is number 13, Connor King. He's patrolling center field. Batting second is number 21, Matt Hegry. He's in the hot corner at third base. Batting third is number 22, Cooper Bowman, out at the shortstop position. And in the cleanup spot is number 30, Jace Caldwell, and he is out at first base. Batting fifth is number 15, Zach Sumption, patrolling right field. Batting sixth is number 18, Alex Weaver. He's patrolling left field. Batting seventh is number 17, Todd Stevens, the backstopper and catcher. Batting eighth is number 25, Ryan Schmidt, serving as the designated hitter tonight for Post 22. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for the Hardhats is number 12, Mason Messenger, and he is out at second base. On the mound tonight for the Hardhats is Zach Weitzel, who comes in for his 7th appearance overall and his 4th by virtue of a start. Weitzel is a perfect 3-0 on the year in 20 and 1/3 innings of work under his belt with a 1.38 ERA, 11 strikeouts to 10 walks. He's allowed 14 hits on the season as well, 10 runs allowed, only 4 of which are earned. The last time that Zach got a start was against the Sheridan Troopers last Friday. He had a complete game, 1-hit shutout of the Troopers in what was a 10-0 win to start off the entire 5-game and 3-day weekend of baseball last week. He was simply sensational. He walked 4 and he struck out a pair, but again, he didn't allow a single run on the game in just 1 hit in the 5 innings that he worked. So you would have liked to have seen more strikeouts thrown by the young righty and try and solidify a spot in the rotation. But ultimately, I thought he played a very composed game of baseball on the mound and ultimately got the win as well. That's what matters at the end of the day. So that brought his ERA down half of a point. He was at 1.83. Now he's at 1.38. So he just flip-flopped the last 2 numbers on the decimal. So Spearfish post 164, set to take on the Hardhats for a second time this season. Both teams met earlier in the year, and Post 22 got the win against Spearfish on May 8th. That was the team's 5th win of the season. So that was great to see from them as they were able to continue their great success starting off the season as perfect as they did. Post 22 got 7 runs on 11 hits with not a single blemish in the field, while Spearfish only managed 4 runs on 6 hits with 2 errors defensively. And Branson Keel was the pitcher of record for the Hardhats. He went 1-0 in the start, and Cooper Bowman was credited with the save in that game as well. Folks, we're going to take a step aside. When we come back, we will have the performance of the United States National Anthem. The remainder of the lineups announced. We'll be all set for first pitch here to kick off another week of baseball. Post 22 taking on Spearfish post 164. We'll step aside and come right back with the top of the first inning of our 9 to be played tonight here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. The Little Leaguers are off the field, and the Post 22 Hard Hats have now gone to their respective defensive positions as we are set to play tonight's 9-inning matchup between Spearfish Post 164 and your Post 22 Hard Hats. Thanks again so much for joining us tonight, folks, here on Little League Night at the Fitz. Mark Bidetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Post 22, winners of 5 in a row, winning all 5 of their games in 3 days last weekend, and now they look forward to another busy week where they start off against Spearfish tonight. They've got the day off tomorrow, and then they will play Thursday, Friday, a doubleheader Saturday, and then in the placement round on Sunday in the Veterans Classic. It's another tournament that the Hard Hats play in every season along with the Firecracker now. And the Veterans Classic is a great tune-up for that Firecracker, as well as the tournament they'll take place in the week after that, which is in Omaha. And they will most likely take on their arch-regional rival, Creighton Prep. Post 22 again in their respective defensive positions. Zach Weitzel on the mound throwing his final warm-up pitches. 7th appearance of the season, his 4th by virtue of a start. He has a perfect 3-0 record under his belt with 20 1/3 innings of work completed. A 1.38 ERA, 11 strikeouts to 10 walks, 3 hit batsmen as well. And he will take on Taylor Janovy, the second baseman, Cody Garnis, the left fielder, and Zach Kozel, the starting pitcher. Defensive alignment for the Hard Hats has Weitzel in his right arm on the mound, paired up with the catcher, Todd Stevens. At first is Jace Caldwell, second Mason Messenger, at shortstop Cooper Bowman, and in the hot corner at third is Matt Hegry. Left to right in the outfield, Alex Weaver, Connor King, and Zach Sumption. Final tapping of the Hard Hats, and it looks like we are ready to rock and roll between Spearfish and Post 22 tonight. Our umpires are Chris Groves and Greg McNabb out on the field. Our umpire's making sure everybody's ready. He has given the signal to play ball. Here comes Zach Weitzel's first pitch. And it's a called strike, and we have officially begun at 7:02 tonight. 0-1 the count to Taylor Janovy. Zach Weitzel back to work. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. And the count evens up at 1-1 for Janovy, the second baseman of Spearfish. He played shortstop and came into pinch at one point in Game 1, both of these teams. Here comes his 1-1. Called strike on the outside corner. A nice fastball from Weitzel. It's 1-2. Janovy in that first game went 1 for 4 with a double, a run scored, a backwards K, and a sacrifice bunt. Here is his 1-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3. There's strikeout number 1 for Weitzel on his first batter faced. And now Cody Garnis comes up. Right-handed batter stepping in, playing left field for Spearfish. He batted in the second hole as well in the lineup and also played left field in Game 1. His first pitch, a called strike. 0-1 from Weitzel. He went 1 for 5 with a pair of strikeouts, a single, and a run scored along with a stolen base. Back on May 8th. 0-1 pitch, skips low and away, and the count will even up now to a ball and a strike. Base path is empty here for Garnis with 1 out here in the top of the first. We just started 2 minutes ago. Full windup. 1-1 pitch. Called strike on the outside corner. It's 1-2. I know it's only 2 batters, but Zach's finding the strike zone very well to start off. In the driver's seat on both batters he's faced. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And it was dropped. Throw to first in time for out number 2. So Zach Weitzel, 2 batters faced to start off the ball game. 2 Ks under his belt. He's already matched the total of his last start, and that'll bring up Zach Kozel, the pitcher, his counterpart on the mound. Kozel batted in the 5-hole in their first meeting against each other back on May 8th. He gets out of the way of that one, and it's ball 1. Kozel in that ball game walked once. He went 2 for 4 with an RBI single, a run scored, and a pair of strikeouts. Here's his 1-0. Pitch is fouled off to the meshing behind home plate, and the count evens up to 1-1. 2 outs for Kozel with an empty base path here in the top of the first inning, and we're both scoreless. Spearfish Post 164 and your Post 22 Hard Hats. Here comes the 1-1 from Weitzel. Swung on, ball's lined right back up the middle and into center for a base hit. If Weitzel didn't move his head, that would have decapitated him. And it's a 2-out, well-earned single by Zach Kozel. That's going to bring us to Connor Glassford now, the cleanup hitter and catcher for Spearfish. And poor Glassford being the catcher with 2 outs. He had to have his leg pads on just to be ready, and now he's got to take them off. So if he's the last out, he's got to go all the way back to the dugout and get everything back on. Glassford played third base in the first matchup against the Hardhats. And he went 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a walk, a run scored, and a sac fly RBI. And his first pitch from Weitzel's high and inside for ball 1. 2 outs and a man on first for Glassford here in the top of the first inning. We just started the ball game 4 minutes ago between Spearfish and Post 22. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. 1-1 the count now from Weitzel to Glassford. From the stretch, righty goes 1-1, and that's high and away. Check to first is not in time. Nice heads-up play, though, by Stevens to get the ball out and to Jace Caldwell over at first. 2 balls and a strike now, the count here to Glassford. Man on first with 2 outs here in a scoreless top of the first. Spearfish still at the plate. Weitzel's 2-1 from the stretch, swung on and missed. And the count is now even at 2-2. Weitzel looking for his 3rd strikeout on 4 batters faced in the inning. 16th pitch of the frame coming up. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that will end it. Zach Weitzel, 3 Ks on 4 batters. Ends the top half of the first. No runs on a hit, no errors, a man left on base. We've played half an inning out of 9 of baseball tonight, and the Hardhats will come to the sticks for the first time. Deadlocked at 0s. We'll take a step aside and come right back with Connor King, Matt Hegre, and Cooper Bowman's first at-bats of the ballgame here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Post 22 now transitions from defense to offense. And Connor King, Matt Hegre, and Cooper Bowman in that order will take their first swings against Spearfish left-handed pitcher Zach Kozel. Kozel on the mound throwing his warm-up pitchers. Paired up with Connor Glassford, the catcher. The rest of the defensive alignment for Spearfish. At first is Cameron Cook. At second, Taylor Janovy. At shortstop, Drew Gusso. And in the hot corner at third is Parker Laux. Left to right in the outfield, Cody Garnis, Taylor Woods, and David Zacher. Post 22 has won 5 in a row. They had 5 games in 3 days, claimed victory in all of them. Doubleheader against the Sheridan Troopers on Friday. A doubleheader against the Dickinson Rough Riders on Saturday, and then the conclusion of the entire weekend in a single game against the Dickinson Rough Riders on Sunday, in which Zach Cholis, entering the 7th inning, was 3 outs away from a no-hitter. Unfortunately, lost it on a leadoff double. But my goodness, was he just dialed in. 11 strikeouts to 4 walks in 6+ innings of work. He only allowed a hit. Connor King will lead off the bottom half of the first for the Hardhats. Connor missed the last 2 games after having taken a comebacker off his ankle. Just sat out, let the swelling go down, rubbed some dirt on it. Now he's back and ready to rock. His first pitch is low for a ball. 1-0 the count here to King. King comes into this matchup with a .329 batting average. 23 for 70 on the season. Ball and no strikes to the Hardhats lefty, and the pitch is low and inside, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes, the count here to King. And a scoreless bottom of the first. Here's 2-0. Called strike right at his knees. 2-1. Two and 1 the count to King. Just started the bottom half of the first. 2-1 pitch is pushed opposite field into left, and underneath it to make the catch is Cody Garnis for out number 1. L7 in the book. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats. Now brings us to Matt Hegre, the third baseman. Hegre looks like he's found a hole in that 2 spot in the order. Batting .280 on the season, officially 21 for 75 in 96 plate appearances. 6 doubles and 2 home runs. No triples yet in the year. First pitch is fouled to the backstop. 0-1 to Hegre. Hegre also has 19 ribbies on the year and 25 runs scored. Struck out 18 times and he's walked 15 times. Here's his 0-1. That pitch missed low inside. The count evens up, a ball and a strike. No one on the base path for Hegre with 1 out here in the bottom half of the first. Still scoreless. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch is check swung on and half swung on and missed. 1-2. Hegre was past the point of no return before he realized he did not want to swing at that pitch. Zach Kozel, the lefty, 1-2 pitch. Pitch is fouled off first base side and into Rapid Creek. And the count will hold at 1-2. Scoreless bottom of the first between Spearfish and the Hardhats, a rematch of the May 8th showdown, which the Hardhats won 7-4. 1-2 to Hegre. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. Strike 3 is dropped. And the throw to first is in time for out number 2. First strikeout for Kozel, the lefty. And that will now bring us to Cooper Bowman, the shortstop, with the base path empty and 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first inning. Cooper Bowman, .453 batting average on the season, 39 for 86 on the year. Leads in virtually every offensive category. 28 runs batted in, 35 runs scored. And his first pitch misses low for ball 1. Cooper Bowman committed to the University of Hawaii to continue his education and his baseball career. Very much looking forward to what he can do at the Division I level as he looks at ball 2, low from Kozel. 2-0. If Bowman's retired, the Hardhats go down 1-2-3. And 5, 6, and 7 are due up, starting off with Parker Laux on the top of the second for Spearfish. 2-0 pitch rides upstairs, 3-0. And Bowman a pitch away from earning a 4-pitch walk. Here comes the 3-0. Called strike outside corner, and it's 3-1. Not much velocity from Kozel, but his location's been pretty spot on. Catcher's framed whichever way he's wanted to go, and he's hit the glove. Might not necessarily be a strike every time, but he's accurate. 3-1, pitch is swung on, hit high in the air. Foul territory, right field side. That's going to drop in the Spearfish bullpen, and that'll bring the count full, 3-2. First payoff pitch of the entire ball game for either pitcher. Here in the bottom of the first with an empty base path and 2 outs for Cooper Bowman. Zach Kozel looking for back-to-back strikeouts and the end of the first inning. Full windup for the lefty. Payoff to Bowman. Pitch is turned on high in the air to left field. That ball has some legs. It has the distance, and it has left the ballpark. A 2-run solo bomb for Cooper Bowman, and the Hardhats strike first here in the bottom of the first and take a 1-0 lead. Cooper Bowman, 4th home run of the season. To the surprise of no one, that is also a team lead. And now we go to Chase Caldwell with an empty base path and 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, but there is a change. 1-0 is now the Hardhats lead. First pitch to Caldwell. Too far inside, but it's called strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Caldwell on the season, just below Bowman in batting average, batting .403. And his next pitch is outside, and the count evens up to a ball and a strike. Caldwell on the year, 27 for 67. 6 doubles, also has a home run. As a matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. His home run's a grand slam. His next pitch is fouled back, a ball and 2 strikes. Chase Caldwell up, following Bowman's solo home run. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. The base path empty. 1-0 the Hardhats lead. Kozel looking for his second strikeout. 1-2 to Caldwell. Pitch is swung on, hit high in the air. To shallow right, it's going fair. It drops fair. Caldwell's on his horse. He's going for second, and the throw is not in time. And Jace Caldwell gets a 2-out double. And that will keep the inning going and bring up Zach Sumption. Sumption batting .292 on the year coming into this matchup. Batting .294 with runners in scoring position. A chance to add to the Hardhats lead. First pitch. Hits him. And Sumption will take a free pass to first. Men on first and second now for the Hardhats. That'll bring up Alex Weaver. Weaver only batting .143 with runners in scoring position. On the season, batting .260. Weaver comes in for his first matchup against Zach Kozel, the lefty. And the first pitch is too far inside for ball 1. Post 22, a 1-0 lead. The power of 2 hits, no errors charged to Spearfish. Men are on first and second for Weaver with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Next pitch is fouled. First base side out of play. And the count for Weaver now evens up at 1-1. 6th batter of the inning here for the Hardhats. If Weaver is the last one, 5, 6, and 7 are due up for Spearfish in the top half of the second, with Laux, Gusso, and Cook scheduled to hit in that order. 1-1 pitch. Pitch is swung on, hit high in the air to left center field. That ball has the legs. It has some distance towards the warning track and unable to make the catch in center's woods. 2 runs are going to come in and score as Sumption trots home. That's a costly E8 as the ball was dropped. And the Hardhats lead is now 3-0 with 2 outs. And a man on second here in the bottom of the first. Now, here comes Todd Stevens up to bat. Post 22, a big 2-out rally, and Stevens has a man in scoring position. He drops down the bunt. Kozel fields, and his throw to first is airmailed. And Stevens is going to go ahead and take second, and coming around to score is Weaver. Stevens is on his horse. He's rounding second, coming in for third, and he's going to get the 2-base error. And the Hardhats lead is now 4-0 with a man on third here in the bottom of the first with 2 outs. Stevens tried to bunt for the hit, and the throw to first was airmailed. And that is going to cause a conference here on the mound. Ryan Schmidt, the designated hitter, comes up. Schmidt in this ball game, rather on the season I should say, is batting .333. Pretty much was the everyday catcher. And has the night off from catching at least. Coach Torvey obviously still wants him to get his swings in. So here comes Schmidt with a man 90 feet to his left and 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 4-0 now the Hardhats lead. All this coming with 2 outs. First pitch to Schmidt. Swung on and missed. 0-1. And full windup for the lefty Kozel. 0-1 pitch is high and away. Ball and a strike. 1-1 is upstairs, 2-1. Schmidt with runners in scoring position batting .385, so good news for Hardhats fans and the Hardhats themselves. With Todd Stevens on third base. Kozel, 2-1 pitch. Called strike. Outside corner, it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kozel looking to end the bleeding here in this inning. Deals to Schmidt, swung on and missed, strike 3, and that'll end it. But the Hardhats deal some serious damage. 4 runs on the power of 3 hits. No, 1 error was charged to Spearfish. There was a man left on base on third. We've played an inning of baseball, and Post 22 has jumped out to an early 4-0 lead over Spearfish, Post 164. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the second. Spearfish back to the bats, leading off with Parker Laux here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. We have a scoring amendment to make from the bottom half of the first inning. The Hardhats had 4 runs on 4 hits with an error charged to Spearfish. That actually was not an error to center field. They called that a double. Ruled that the ball went off the wall, not off of the glove. And then Todd Stevens, they gave credit for an infield bunt single, and then he advanced 2 bases on the throwing error. So speaking with our official scorer up here, Thad Caldwell, he had said that on that bunt play that he was running so fast anyway, and the bunt was such a drag that he probably was going to be safe anyway, so that's why they credited him with a hit. But then obviously the ball was airmailed into right field, so he took the extra 2 bases. Hardhats are back to it on defense as Zach Weitzel throws a first pitch ball to Parker Laux, playing at third base this evening. 1-0 his starting count. Laux was the catcher in Game 1 that both of these teams played on May 8th. His next pitch is swung on and hit by a diving Cooper Bowman and into left for a base hit. So Laux leads off with a single here at the top of the second, and that'll bring up Drew Gusso, the shortstop. Drew Gusso was the starting pitcher the first time these teams met. He went 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Laux takes his lead off at first. Weitzel's first pitch is upstairs, 1-0. Man on first with no one out here in the top of the second. The Hardhats off to an early 4-0 lead. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Called strike. Outside corner at the knees of Gusso. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Weitzel from the stretch. Deals. Outside, 2-1. The man on first is Parker Laux with the leadoff single for Spearfish. Trailing the Hardhats 4-0 here in the top of the second. Hardhats looking to turn 2. 2-1 from Weitzel. Called strike. Just caught the outside corner. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Weitzel looking for his 4th K. 2-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball's fouled. Good protection there from Gusso as it goes off the cover of one of the grandstands. 2-2. Weitzel still looking for that 4th K. From the stretch. 2-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to shallow center. Connor King's on his horse. Bowman comes back from short, and he makes the catch. Nice play from Cooper Bowman. One down, for the Hardhats with a man on first, and that'll bring us to Cameron Cook, the first baseman. Cook also played first base the last time these teams met. He went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a flyout. Man on first for Cook. 1 out, top of the second, a 4-0 Hardhats lead. His first pitch misses low for ball 1. Weitzel is approaching his 10th pitch of the inning. There's the 1-0 to Cook. Called strike at his knees. 1-1. Laux is still on first with the leadoff single. One out here in the top of the second. 4-0. The Hardhats lead to protect. Weitzel from the stretch. 1-1 pitch. Misses low and away. Stevens comes up with a big block. It's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. Weitzel sets. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-2. To Cameron Cook. Weitzel checks first. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball is pushed into right field for a base hit. Sumption comes into field, and everybody takes only one base on the sequence. Laux advances to scoring position. Cook to first with the one-out single. And that'll put men on first and second for David Zucker, the right fielder. Zucker, like the previous 7 before him in the order, all right-handed batters. First man at scoring position for Spearfish. Weitzel from the stretch. First pitch. Low and away, ball 1. Zucker has Cook on first and Laux on second. 4-0 is the Hardhats lead. Double take to second. 1-0 from Weitzel. The bunt is showed, and there's a pop out to Messenger. Throw to first is in time. My goodness, a pop 4-3 double play. Careless base running from Spearfish, and that will end the top half of the second. No runs on 2 hits. No errors charged to the Hardhats. There was a man left on base in scoring position. We played an inning and a half, a costly mistake for Post 164, and they will now go to defense as the Hardhats look to expand on their 4-0 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the second, and Mason Messenger to lead off for the Hardhats here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22, thanks to some brilliant fielding from the Hardhats and some unfortunate base running from Spearfish, ends the top half of the second. It comes back to the the offensive side of the baseball. And Mason Messenger will lead off, followed by the top of the order, Connor King and Matt Hegre. Post 22 is a 4-0 lead through an inning and a half. 4 runs on 4 hits with no errors, and for Spearfish, it's no runs on 3 hits with 2 errors. Here is the first pitch. And that is up high on Messenger for ball 1. 1-0 to Messenger. Just started the bottom half of the second. 1-0 pitch is flared into shallow right, and it drops for a base hit. And Mason Messenger leads off with a single, and he will see his .244 batting average go up a little bit. That'll bring us back to the top of the order to Connor King. King's 0 for 1, lined out to left field. Lefty steps in, the only lefty-on-lefty matchup we'll see against Kozel. And his first pitch to King is high and outside for ball 1. Messenger stands on first with the leadoff single. And the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, third base side. Laux is chasing it, looking into the sun, and he drops it. Laux unable to come up with the catch. Connor King has his second life in a 1-1 count. One and one to the lefty King. Messenger about to take his lead off of first. And now stepping off the rubber is Kozel. And back into the batter's box is King. Kozel has some partial shading. It's weird how it looks on the field right now, but the sun is obviously to our back right, looking from behind home plate, that the shadows are coming in from that direction. Kozel has one right in his face on the mound. 1-1 pitch. Missed low and inside, 2 balls and a strike. Connor King is up 0 for 1, looking for his first hit of the ball game. Mason Messenger's on first. He takes his lead. No outs here in the bottom of the second. 2-1 pitch, missed low and inside again on King, and it's 3-1. Hardhats have a 4-0 lead. 4 runs all scored on 2 outs, starting with a solo jack from Cooper Bowman. Here's the 3-1. Runner goes, it's upstairs, ball 4, and it's irrelevant what happens there. That is the first walk of the ball game for either side. That's going to put Messenger in scoring position on second and Hegre on first. Hegre is one of only 2 strikeouts issued by Kozel in this start. Batting .303 with men in scoring position, and he is one of the fastest gentlemen in Mason Messenger in scoring position. Fouls off his first pitch inside. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike to Hegre with men on first and second. No one out here in the bottom of the second. 0-1 pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to Hegre. Pitch away from potentially a second punch out here against Kozel. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is fouled off first base side and into Rapid Creek. And the count will hold at 0-2. Messenger is on second. King's on first. A lot of speed on the base path for the Hardhats. And Kozel's 0-2. Misses low. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes for Matt Hegre. .40 pitches already for Kozel. We're not even through 2 full innings. 1-2 pitch, misses low, and it skips through the 5-hole of Glassford, and everybody advances a base. King now to scoring position. Messenger on third. Pass ball bringing both gentlemen within striking distance of home plate. 2-2 now the count for Hegre. Men on second and third. Kozel from the stretch, 2-2. Nearly hit him, that's too far inside. Count goes full. Second payoff pitch for Kozel. And the payoff to Hegre. Too high and inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued by Kozel. Still no one out. That loads the bases for Cooper Bowman. The last time Bowman was up, he took a full count pitch and it left the ballpark. Every base is occupied here. The last time it counted for 1 run. If he plays his cards right, he doubles the Hardhats score as it stands at 4-0. First pitch from Kozel. Called strike inside. 0-1. No balls and a strike to Bowman with every base occupied. Hegre on first. King on second. Messenger on third. 0-1 pitch. Misses low. And Glassford comes up with a block. It's 1-1. Ball and a strike the count. Kozel deals. Missed low and away, 2-1. There is nowhere to put Bowman. So Kozel Either has to have him put the ball in play and try and get as many outs as possible, or get him out at the plate. 2-1. Pitch is turned on high in the air to left, and it is past a diving Garnis and all the way to the corner. 2 runs are going to come in and score. Messenger's got the green light. He's going to try and score. Bowman to third with a stand-up RBI bases clearing triple. And the Hardhats now have a 7-0 lead with no one out and a man standing on third here in the bottom of the second. Cooper Bowman batting .500 with runners in scoring position. That'll skyrocket. That's his 6th triple of the year. And it's good for 3 to come around. Here comes Caldwell. First pitch is low and inside, ball 1. Heggery came in to score, King came in to score, and Messenger all came in to score. Here comes the 1-0. Misses low and skips to Glassford, 2-0. Caldwell's 1 for 1 on the ball game. He doubled and he came around to score in the middle of that 2-out rally the Hardhats had back in the bottom of the first. Still no one out here in the bottom of the second. Next pitch to Caldwell is upstairs, 3-0. And the Hardhats are a pitch away from men on the corners for Zach Sumption. There's a strike inside corner, right at the belt of Caldwell. It's 3-1. Zach Kozel just threw his 51st pitch of the start. And here comes his 52nd. 3-1 to Caldwell. Pitch is flared high in the air to second, and it's caught on the play by Taylor Janovy. And that is out number 1. 1 down with the man on third. That'll bring us to Zach Sumption. 6th batter of the inning. Sumption was hit by a pitch in the bottom of the first. He came around to score in the 2-out rally. 7-0 the Hardhats lead. First pitch nearly hit him again. Too far inside, it's 1-0. Kozel's going full windup, and the lefty deals us 1-0. Pitch is fouled. Behind home plate, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. One and 1 the count. As there's a brief conference as well between Glassford and Kozel. Bowman patiently waiting on third to get knocked in. Sumption again batting .294 with runners in scoring position, and he looks at another ball low. 2-1. Sumption on the season for post 22 has 12 runs batted in. And that pitch is a swing and a miss. 2-1 now becomes 2-2. He has a chance to knock in a 13th as Bowman stands 90 feet to his left. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Kozel deals to Sumption. Swung on and just fouled off. In my estimation from up here, that was ball 3 up high. Instead, it's fouled. And the count remains 2-2. And Kozel, 2-2 again. Pitch is dropped, strike 3, and they tag him, and that'll do it. Sumption's down. That's 2 in a row retired. And that's strikeout number 3 for Kozel. 2 down with a man on third. And now Alex Weaver comes up. Weaver hit a 2-run RBI double. And he looks at ball 1 inside. 1-0. And 1-0 pitch is fouled off the paraphernalia of the catcher, Connor Glassford, and it evens up at a ball and a strike. If Weaver's retired, 9-1 and 2 are due up for Spearfish in the top of the third. So we'll see Taylor Woods for a first time and then come right around to Taylor Janovy and Cody Garnis. 1-1 to Weaver. Low and inside, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1. Low and inside again, 3-1 now to Weaver. He's a pitch away from men on the corners. And here's the 3-1 to Weaver. Pitch is swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Right side of the infield. Giving way to the second baseman, Janovi, is Cameron Cook. He gets the pop out, and that will end the bottom half of the second. Well, the Hardhats had an extra 3 runs on 2 hits, with no errors charged to Spearfish. There was a man left on the base path, once again 90 feet from scoring. We have played 2 innings of baseball. Post 22 now has a 7-0 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the third. It's Spearfish back to the sticks here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. It is Little League night here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. Post 22 taking on Spearfish Post 164. And as the evening has gone on, the Hardhats have shared with our staff here their advice for Little Leaguers, their favorite Little League moment, where they played Little League baseball. A couple of shots taken between teammates. It's all in good fun. Hardhats have a 7-0 lead through 2 frames. For Post 22, 7 runs on 6 hits, no errors. And for Spearfish, no runs on 3 hits and 2 errors. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV as Zach Weitzel's back on the mound for the Hardhats and deals his first pitch to Taylor Woods. A called strike inside. It's 0-1. And here's the 0-1. Misses low and away. Count evens up to a ball and a strike. 9, 1, and 2 are scheduled to hit in that order for Spearfish. Woods followed by Janovi and Garnis. Here comes the 1-1. Full windup from Weitzel. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit right back up the middle. Bowman on the run to his left. Gets the stop throw to first in time. Great play as always by Cooper Bowman. It's short. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense. Will bring us to Taylor Janovi, who's 0 for 1 with a backwards K. The first of 3 strikeouts issued by Zach Weitzel, and all 3 of them came back in the top of the first inning on 4 batters faced. Base path empty for Janovi. 1 out, top of the third. 7-0 Hardhats lead. First pitch swung on, ripped right to Matt Hegre into his glove for out number 2. Well, that was fast. Hegre played that one to a T. 2 up, 2 down on just 4 pitches, and that brings us to Cody Garnis, who struck out on a drop third strike thrown by Stevens to Caldwell at first. First pitch, breaking ball upstairs, 1-0. Cody Garnis has an empty base path and 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the third. 1-0 pitch is fouled to the meshing behind home plate, and the count's even at 1-1. Weitzel gets the sign. Full windup for the righty. Here comes the 1-1 to Garnis. Missed low and away. 2 balls and a strike. And Weitzel's 2-1 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit to second. Messenger, a nice backhanded stab. Throw to first in time. And that will end the top half of the third. For the first time in the ballgame for Post 22 on defense, it's a 1-2-3 inning, which, as we all know, means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. 2.5 innings out of 9 of baseball to be played tonight, and the Hardhats' 7-0 lead is still intact. We'll take a quick breather and come right back with the bottom third of the order in the bottom of the third, starting off with Todd Stevens here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hard Hats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. For those Rush fans tuning in to today's broadcast, don't forget that you can get all of your season ticket packages on sale now on our Rapid City Rush offices. Call 716-7825 to get a full season 36-game plan, a half-season 18-game plan, or our specialty 7-game pack that gets you entry into our home opener and to our 6 specialty evenings on the year. Fun part about the home opener this year, if you guys help do your part and you come to the game this year and sell it out, it will be the 100th sellout in Rapid City Rush history. So be sure to get your tickets for the home opener on October 20th against the Kansas City Mavericks. Todd Stevens, Ryan Schmidt, Mason Messenger to do battle against Zach Kozel for a second time, and Kozel's first pitch to Stevens is high for ball 1. Stevens hit a bunt single and advanced 2 bases on an error, and his 1-0 pitch is outside to double his count to 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Kozel's the lefty still on the mound, already at 65 pitches, and his 2-1 buzzes the tower high and inside, and it's 3-0 to Stevens. Three balls, no strikes the count. Full windup for Kozel to Stevens, and the pitch is low for ball 4. So Stevens has issued a leadoff walk to start off the bottom half of the third. That'll bring us to Ryan Schmidt, the designated hitter, who's 0 for 1 with the second of 3 Kozel strikeouts on the evening. Stevens goes. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1, and the throw to second's not there in time. Stevens had a great beat on the ball. That was a stolen base from the get-go, and he is now in scoring position, and it's a 1-0 count to Schmidt. Second time now in the ballgame that Schmidt has had a runner in scoring position while at the plate, and his 1-0 pitch is just above his letters to make it 2-0. Schmidt batting .385 with runners in scoring position, and he swings and misses at his 2-0. 2 balls and a strike now to the hard hat DH. Pretty much the everyday catcher, Schmidt. He's had a couple of moments off here and there from the position. Tonight's one of those moments. Here's the 2-1. Pitch is swung on and missed. 2-2. Schmidt's already struck out once. To Zach Kozel's left arm. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Yeah, caught him looking, strike 3. And there's a backwards K, strikeout number 4 for Kozel. 1 down with a man in scoring position. And that's going to bring us to Mason Messenger, the second baseman. Messenger singled and came around to score in the bottom of the second. Stevens goes, no one covering third, throw to third, in time. Todd Stevens tried to catch everybody asleep at the switch, and Parker Laux barely got the tag down, and that is a key second out. A 1-5 caught stealing before Messenger even sees a pitch. And his first pitch is a called strike. 0-1. Zach Kozel came into the inning with 63 pitches thrown. He's already at 10 for this frame right now. It would be his lowest by far, as he throws a curveball in there for strike 2 to Messenger. 0-2 now the count. Through 29 in the first inning and 34 in the second. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit to third. Laux gets the stop on the hop, throw to first in time, and that'll end it. And for the first time in this ballgame, the Hardhats go down 1-2-3 in an inning on offense. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And after 3 full innings, post 22 still has a 7-0 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the 4th, and the pitcher himself, Zach Kozel, to lead off here for Spearfish on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. 3 innings are in the books here at the Fitz on Little League night, and Post 22 still maintains its 7-0 lead over Spearfish Post 164. For the Hardhats, across the board through 3, it's 7 runs on 6 hits with no errors. And for Spearfish, it's no runs on 3 hits with a pair of errors on defense. Mark Binetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, as the Hardhats are back to their respective defensive positions. And Zach Weitzel will face 3, 4, and 5 in the order. Zach Kozel, Connor Glassford, and Parker Laux. Weitzel's pitching counterpart stares across from him 60 feet 6 inches, and Weitzel's first pitch is a called strike at his knees, 0-1. Kozel had the first hit of the ball game between both clubs. That was a 2-out single back in the top of the first. And Weitzel's 0-1. Called strike on a breaking ball outside corner. And just like that in a blink, Kozel's behind 0-2. And Weitzel will go right back to work. 0-2 to Kozel. Missed low and away. Stevens couldn't get the block. It skipped away from him, and there was nobody on the base path to take advantage. 1-2. Both pitchers going head-to-head right now. Weitzel looking into Spearfish pitcher Kozel. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on, ball's hit to the right side of the infield. Takes a hop. Messenger the stop to his left. Throw to first in time for out number 1. That looked like it was going to barely squeak by for a hit, but the ball ricocheted off of the dirt. Took a hop. Messenger was able to settle it. It gave him enough time to square up to the ball and field it well. And he got a great throw over to Caldwell. A nice toss for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down brings us to Connor Glassford, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And his first pitch hit him. And Glassford is going to wear that one all the way to first. So 1 out, a hit by pitch dealt. That'll bring us to Parker Laux, who singled as well. He's 1 for 1. That's the first free base runner of the ballgame for Weitzel. Top of the 4th inning. He's a 3 1/3 innings through his start. And it took him that long to either walk a batter or hit a batter. So good on Weitzel, who has 3 strikeouts, and now the 1 free pass. That's going to bring us to Laux. Man on first, 1 out. Hardhats looking to turn 2. They had a very awkward double play turn earlier. A pop 4-3. And Weitzel from the stretch. First pitch to Laux. Swung on and missed. 0-1. Glassford stands on first, now takes his lead. Weitzel from the stretch. 0-1 to Laux. Called strike. Throw to first is not in time. But a great exchange from Stevens to Caldwell from behind the plate to first. 0-2 now to Laux. Glassford takes his lead. And Weitzel's 0-2. Swung on, ball's hit right back up the middle. Bowman gets the stop to Messenger for 1. No, it's safe. Safe at second was Connor Glassford. And now it's first and second with 1 out. And they're going to credit Laux with an infield single. There was a miscue between number 1, who was going to field it, Messenger or Bowman, and whoever wasn't going to field it, who was going to take second. The ball got deep enough to where Bowman tried to field it coming over from short to second. Messenger tried to take the bag, and he wasn't on it when Glassford made it. Drew Gusso looks at ball 1 to start off his count. Man on first and second with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Hardhats up 7-0, looking to keep it that way. Gusso's next pitch is high and inside, 2-0. Gusso's 0 for 1 with a pop out to his position at short. Two balls, no strikes. 50th pitch from Weitzel. Ball is hit foul. And that lands in front of us. Not in any of the rows, though, just on the concourse. 2-1. Thought I was going to have to be at the ready for that one, but it wasn't nearly high enough. 2 balls and a strike to Gusso. Weitzel looks around the diamond at first and second. Next pitch is swung on. Ball's lined to center field. Connor King to his left is underneath it, and he makes the catch. And gets a nice throw into third to discourage anyone from trying to take a base. First and second, 2 outs, brings us to Cameron Cook, the first baseman. Cook has one of the 4 Spearfish hits in this ballgame. And that came in the top of the second. It was a single. Men on first and second now with 2 outs in the top of the fourth. A 7-0 Hardhats lead. Pitch is up high at his letters, 1-0. If Cook's retired, the Hardhats will start at the top of the order in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 pitch, also missed at the letters, 2-0 to Cook. Weitzel showcasing the fastball. Two balls, no strikes. And Weitzel deals to Cook. Swung on and missed. 2-1. "13 pitches on the frame for Weitzel. He has been very efficient in the start. Here's a 2-1. That skips low. Stevens block. Nobody takes a base. 3 balls and a strike the count here to Cook. Weitzel has not issued a walk. If he did so here with 2 outs, it would load the bases up for David Zocker, the right fielder. Weitzel looks to second. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. And the count goes full. Big payoff pitch for Weitzel. It's his first full count of this start. Here against Cameron Cook, 1 for 1, looking to keep the inning going. Payoff pitch. Caught him looking, strike 3, and that'll do it. 4th strikeout for Weitzel, and his first sits the top of the first inning, and it strands another man in scoring position for Spearfish. No runs on a hit, no errors charged to the Hardhats. 2 men left on base. We've played 3.5 innings of baseball, and the Hardhats' 7-0 lead is still intact. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the fourth and the top of the Hardhats order here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Hardhats back on the offensive here in the bottom of the fourth with the top of the order due up. Connor King, Matt Hegre, Cooper Bowman all slated to hit. Post 22 looking to expand its 7-0 lead over Spearfish Spartans of Post 164. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. It is Little League night here at the park. We have heard from various Post 22 players on their favorite Little League moment and what their advice to these young Little Leaguers is. A lot of it fun and games between all of them because a lot of these Hardhats grew up playing against each other, some of them with each other as well. But most of them grew up playing against each other in the various Little Leagues here in Rapid City. So it's funny to hear some of the stories come out back and forth. Zach Kolza looks into Connor King, the only lefty in the Hardhat lineup, and he deals a first pitch strike. 0-1 to King, who is 0 for 1 on the ballgame with a line out to left. And a walk and a run scored. 0-1. Misses low and skips away, a ball and a strike. King, Hegre, and Bowman all slated to hit here in the bottom of the fourth. Post 22, a 7-0 lead over Spearfish, Post 164. The 1-1 is lined past the glove of Laux and into left field. That's a base hit. And Connor King leads off the bottom of the fourth with a single. And that'll bring up Matt Hegre. Hegre's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Also has a run scored. Hegre looking for his first hit. Kozel from the stretch. First pitch is fouled. Behind home plate, 0-1. Seems like Kozel's trying to jam Hegre inside. At least that's been the pattern that we've seen from up here. A lot of inside pitches from Kozel to Hegre. Check to first, and back safely is King. No balls in a strike to count to Hegre. Still waiting on that second pitch. This one will be number 80 from Kozel. 0-1. Pitch is flared high in the air to right center field, and that is dropped. And Connor King is going to take off for third, and Hegre's on second. Two men in scoring position for post 22, and that's going to bring us to Cooper Bowman. Cooper Bowman, 2 extra base hits on the evening, a solo home run, and a bases-clearing RBI triple. Double to Hegre, by the way. We were looking for a ruling on whether the dropped ball was going to be an error or a hit. Called strike to Bowman. 0-1 the count to Bowman, who's 2 for 2. He's a double and a single from the cycle. And the 0-1 misses low and away. Ball and a strike. So they had ruled that Matt Hegre got a double, even though the ball was dropped by right fielder Zucker. He had to cover a lot of ground to get it. He was playing the foul line pretty hard. Next pitch skips away, but not far away enough for anybody to take advantage of a base in front of them. So it's now 2-1 to Bowman, who has men on second and third with still no one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Hardhats with a 7-0 lead. Bowman's already gone yard once. 2-1 pitch is a called strike just around his letters. 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Full windup for Kozel, and he deals to Bowman. Pitch is swung on, lined into center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run's going to score. Rounding third, coming home is Hegre. He's going to score. A 2-run RBI single for Cooper Bowman, and the Hardhats lead is now 9-0. With a man on first, no one out here in the bottom of the fourth. So now all Cooper Bowman needs for the cycle is a double, and he will have achieved a rare feat in this sport. Coach is out there to speak with the Spearfish infield. And whether or not this is the end for Kozel, looks like this is. And it looks like coming in for Spearfish is Zach Zweshka, and he will take over on the mound. So Zweshka will take over for Kozel, who went 3+. And he gave up 9 runs on 9 hits. And of his runs, all of them were earned. Kozel struck out 4 through 85 pitches. And he walked 3 and hit 1. Folks, we'll take a quick step aside and let the new pitcher warm up. We'll be right back with that. As coming up for the Hardhats is Jace Caldwell with a man on first. No one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Hardhats up 9-0 on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Well, it looks like Zach Squashka is going to come out on the mound now for Spearfish. Again, taking over for Zach Kozel, who went 3+ innings, allowed 9 earned runs on 9 hits, striking out 4, walking 3, hitting 1 batter, and throwing 85 total pitches. Squashka's first opponent, Jace Caldwell, and his first pitch is chopped foul, third base side, 0-1. Caldwell's 1 for 2. His only hit in the ballgame is a double. That came back in the bottom half of the first, and he also came around to score in the middle of a 2-out rally for the Hardhats in that frame. Starting off with Cooper Bowman's solo home run. 0-1, pitch is swung on, ball's hit high in the air to center field. That ball has some legs on it. It has the distance, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Rounding third, all the way from first and heading home is Cooper Bowman. Jace Caldwell into third, and he is safe with an RBI triple. And the Hardhats now have a 10-0 lead with no one out and a man 90 feet from home here in the bottom of the fourth. Jace Caldwell turned on his Rockets and was thinking 3 bases the whole way. RBI triple for him. No one out, and that brings us to Zach Sumption. 0 for 1, hit by a pitch, came around to score and struck out. First pitch. Swung on, ball's turned foul down the third baseline. 0-1 the count to Sumption. No balls in a strike the count. And Squashka deals. That pitch is low and away, 1-1. Zach Squashka pitching from the stretch. 1-1 Assumption. And that one also skipped low, 2-1. Sumption has Caldwell 90 feet to his left. No one out here in the bottom of the fourth. A 10-0 Hardhats lead. 2-1. Pitch is fouled to the right of the press box, and it lands on the concourse. It takes a crazy bounce. Wonder where that came from. 2 balls and a strike now to Sumption. Or 2-2, my apologies. And the 2-2 pitch is outside. Count goes full. 3-2 now to Sumption. And Zweshka deals. Swung on and just fouled to the meshing behind home plate, and the count will remain full from Zweshka to Sumption. Payoff number 2 to Sumption. Pitch is swung on, and that's lined right to shortstop. Gusso gets the stop for out number 1. That is going to bring up Alex Weaver with Caldwell standing 90 feet to his left. Weaver is 1 for 2. 2-run RBI double. Run scored. He's also popped out to second. First pitch is fouled. Just got under it, 0-1. And here is the 0-1 pitch. Low and away, and the ball skips, but Caldwell's not going to take advantage of home. He hangs on third, and the count will even up at 1-1 to Weaver. Ball and a strike. And Weaver looks at strike 2 at his belt. 1-2 to the Hardhat left fielder. 1 for 2, looking for his second hit, his second RBI hit. And Zweshka's 1-2 outside, and Weaver didn't fish for it, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zweshka also looking for his first strikeout in relief. 2-2 pitch. Curve ball, just missed upstairs, and the count goes full. It's a nice breaking ball from Zweshka, but his catcher Glassford didn't really do much to help him out. Next pitch is swung on, and that ball is hit into the gap. It's going to drop in left center for a base hit. It's going all the way to the warning track. And Weaver's going to hold up as he trots to second with an RBI double. And the Hardhats lead is now 11-0 with 1 out and a man in scoring position here in the bottom of the fourth. And Caldwell comes in to score 4 runs for the Hardhats in this inning. And now Todd Stevens, the catcher, comes up. Stevens 1 for 1, a bunt single and a walk. He also has a stolen base, but he was also caught stealing too. First pitch. Turned on, high in the air, but foul. 0-1 to Stevens. And here's the 0-1. Strike 2 inside on the off-speed pitch. 0-2 to Stevens with a man on second. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Hardhats have already played at 4 and now have an 11-0 lead. 0-2 from Zweschka to Stevens. Pitch is ripped fair down the third base line. It's a base hit. Rounding third, heading home is Alex Weaver. Stevens is going to try and take off for second, and the throw is not in time. And the Hardhats now have a 12-0 lead. Stevens, the RBI single, he'll advance to second on the throw. And now, the Hardhats, a dozen runs. They haven't allowed any yet. Ryan Schmidt, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. First pitch is upstairs, ball 1. Schmidt has a man on second with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Hardhats have played at 5. It's a 12-0 lead. 1-0. Schmidt rips it down the third base line for a base hit in a left field. Rounding third, coming home is Stevens. And hanging on at first and now advancing to second on the throw is Schmidt. And the Hardhats now have a baker's dozen up on the board. It's 13-0 with another man on second and 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Mason Messenger comes up. The Hardhats have batted through the order. First pitch, low and away, ball 1. And Schmidt hangs on at second. He took a pretty big lead there. Messenger's 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored, and a ground out to third. Here's his 1-0 pitch. Called strike on the outside corner. Nice breaking ball there from Zweschka. 1-1. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And Messenger looks at ball 2 outside. 2-1. Ryan Schmidt on second. The RBI single advanced to second on the throw. Messenger looking in. 2-1 pitch. And that's called strike inside. 2-2. Zweschka still looking for that first K in relief. 2-2 to Messenger. Pitch is swung on, and that's ripped into left field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Hanging on at third is Schmidt. And Messenger will only take 1 base as well. So it's another single for Messenger. That's 4 hits in a row for the Hardhats since Zach Sumption lined out. And that brings us back to the top of the order as Connor King will get a second chance to bat in this inning. King led off the entire inning with a single and came around. Everybody in this inning except Zach Sumption's hit. 8 hits in the inning for the Hardhats. And the first pitch to King's a called strike. 0-1. Single, double, 2-run RBI single, RBI triple, line out to short, RBI double, RBI single, single. That's how the inning reads as of right now. 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball upstairs, and the count evens up at 1-1. And in that sequence, 6 runs have scored, and the Hardhats now have a 13-0 lead. Men on the corners here for Connor King. A ball and a strike is count. Zweschka deals. That's way outside. 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to count. Now to King. Hardhats up 13-0. Here's a 2-1. And that's high and away again. 3-1 to King. Only 1 base is free. So if King walks, it'll be bases loaded for Matt Hegre, who just came off of a double in this inning. Here's a 3-1. Too far inside, ball 4. King draws a 1-out walk. Bases loaded as Messenger goes to second. Staying on third, Schmidt. And now here comes Matt Hegre. Hegre doubled in this inning. He has every base occupied. And his first pitch is outside for ball one. There is nowhere to put him, so Zweshka and Spearfish needs to get an out somewhere here. Here comes the 1-0. And it hit him. And that's going to knock in a run. RBI hit by pitch for Matt Hegre. With one out, bases remain loaded. And here comes Cooper Bowman, who is a double away from hitting the cycle. Messenger on third, King on second, Hegre on first. And there's a conference on the mound real quick with Zweshka and Glassford, the catcher, as Bowman steps in. Bowman needs a double. He gets a double, he will have the cycle. A home run, a triple, a double, and a single. He homered in his first at-bat, a solo blast with 2 outs in the bottom of the first to spark a 4-run, 2-out rally for the Hardhats, gave him a 4-0 lead in the bottom of the first. In the second inning, he had a bases-clearing RBI triple, and in this inning, he has hit a 2-run RBI single. He gets the double. He'll have the cycle. Bases loaded for Bowman. Hardhats up 14-0 now. And his first pitch is inside. Ball one. 3 for 3 is Bowman. Full windup for Zweshka. And the 1-0. Pitch is swung on, and that ball is hit into left field. It's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run's going to come in and score, and that's all they'll get out of it. Bowman still needs that double for the cycle, but he has given the Hardhats a 15-0 lead on another RBI hit in this inning. With still 1 out and the bases jacked here in the bottom of the fourth. And it looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter for the Hardhats. As coming in for Jace Caldwell is Jack Sorensen. Most likely in to either play first or pitch. And it looks like Ryan Bachman has also come in to run for Cooper Bowman. And there's a first pitch ball to Sorensen, 1-0. Sorensen has the bases loaded. And 1 out, and his 1-0 pitch is hit high in the air to shallow right field. Coming in from second is Genevieve, and he nearly collided with a right fielder, but he gets the catch, and everybody hangs tight. That'll be out number 2. 2 outs for the Hardhats, every base still occupied. And the man without a hit, the only Hardhat without a hit in this inning, Zach Sumption's now up. Every base juiced. Zweshka's first pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right field. Underneath it is Zucker, and Zucker can't make the catch. It's over his head all the way to the wall. Sumption's rounding second. He's going for 3 bases. He has cleared off every other one, and the Hardhats have an 18-0 lead. Everybody has a hit in the inning, and the Hardhats are really piling it on. Two bases clearing RBI hits in this ballgame. 1 for Cooper Bowman, and now 1 for Zach Sumption. With 2 outs, here comes Alex Weaver. First pitch turned on high in the air to left field. That ball has some distance on it, and it is going to go all the way to the wall. Sumption has scored. Weaver once again slows up, trotting to second with an RBI double, and it is now 19-0. Post 22 with a man on second and 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Todd Stevens now comes up to try and keep this rolling, but they're actually going to substitute him out for Colton Tipton. And it looks like that will be it for Zweshka. And now a new pitcher will come in. Folks, we're going to take a quick step aside and see just exactly what the substitution has been. We'll be right back with that and more here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Drew Gusso is now on the mound for Spearfish, and he is no stranger to pitching against the Hardhats. He pitched against them in their first matchup this season. He got the start, and he threw 7 innings and 94 pitches, striking out and walking both a pair. Gave up 6 runs, but only 3 of them were earned on 9 hits. And now Colton Tipton's going to come up to take on Gusso. And his first pitch is ripped foul down the third base line. 0-1. Colton Tipton on the season is batting 1,000, 2 for 2. He's walked once. He's been hit by a pitch twice. It's only the third game in which he's taking swings. 0-1 pitch is a called strike on a breaking ball from Gusso, and quickly Tipton's in an 0-2 hole. Tipton, the 16th batter of the inning for the Hardhats. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is swung on and fouled over the press box. Remains 0-2. Schweschka, by the way, went 2/3 of an inning, and he gave up 10 runs on 8 hits. 0-2, caught him looking, strike 3, and that'll end it. Well, let's count this one out. So, in the inning, there were 12 runs scored on 9 hits. There were no errors charged to Spearfish, and there was a man left on second. We have played 4 innings of baseball, and the Hardhats, thanks to a 12 spot in this inning, have run away with this one over Spearfish. 19-0 is the score. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the 5th here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Zach Weitzel, he had quite the break to watch his Hardhats just explode offensively. And now, looks to take on Spearfish, 8-9-1 in the order. Zach Weitzel has been fantastic in this start. And we'll face David Zacher, Taylor Woods, and Cameron Cook, the first baseman. Zacher is 0 for 1. He popped into a double play, and he looks at ball 1 to start off the top half of the 5th. Hardhats have 19 runs on 17 hits with no errors. Spearfish, no runs, 4 hits, 2 errors through 4+ innings of play. Count evens up at 1-1 after Zacher fouls off that next pitch. Ball and a strike now, the count to the Spearfish right fielder. Zach Weitzel again still on the mound. And here is the 1-1. High and inside, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike the count. Hardhats up 19-0. We're trying to confirm it, but we're pretty sure if they get out of this inning, the game's over. 2-1 is foul to the right of our press box. I think that went off of Shep's Peak. 2-2. Shameless plug. Watch the game with Luxury from Shep's Peak. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and just foul tipped. And the count will hold even at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count here to Zacher. Weitzel once again deals his 2-2. And that's outside, and the count will go full. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the next pitch is low and away for ball 4. Leadoff walk issued by Weitzel to Zucker. And that's now going to bring us to Taylor Woods, the center fielder. That is, by the way, the first walk that Weitzel surrendered. He has 4 strikeouts, a hit by pitch, and a walk. And the first pitch to Taylor Woods is ripped foul over the first base wall. 0-1. Woods is 0 for 1. He grounded out to short the last time he was up. 19-0, the Hardhats lead. Man on first here in the top of the 5th. Next pitch is hit high in the air to shallow center. And King comes all the way in, and he makes the catch for out number 1. We're still trying to confirm it, but with the Hardhats up 15+ here in the 5th, if they get out of this top half of the inning, we believe the game is over. Janovy comes up now, Taylor Janovy that is. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a line out to third. And here's his first pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. First base side, foul territory. And it goes into the crowd. Josh Gilbert, who's going to represent Rapid City in the Special Olympics here this summer on the softball team, made a fantastic sprawling catch over there to snare the ball, making sure that he's all ready to go to represent our community in the Special Olympics. 0-1 pitch. Called strike. And it's 0-2 now to Janovy. I know I've said it before on the air, but Josh Gilbert probably has to be one of the best human beings I think I've ever met in Rapid City in my 5 years of being here. And now, caught in a rundown on the base path is Zucker. And he did not get tagged. Jack Sorensen just missed him by an inch. And he got away with one there. No balls, 2 strikes to count to Janovy. Still with that man on first by the grace of the baseball gods. Zach Weitzel steps back on the mound. And here is the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled first base side. And out of play again, and it holds at 0-2. Post 22 has a 19-0 lead here in the top of the 5th. As leading off of first is Zucker. Here's the 0-2 from Weitzel to Janovy. And that missed low and inside, 1-2. Post 22 saw 16 batters in that bottom half of the 4th. 12 runs on 11 hits. Not a single error committed by Spearfish. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball is chopped to third and foul. And the count will hold at 1-2. Cody Garnis is on deck if the double play does not end the inning. We are still checking to see if the double play would end the ball game. There's a good chance with 15 runs after 5 innings in a 9-inning game that the game would come to a halt. 1-2 pitch. Just missed low, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Janovy, the second baseman turned shortstop for Spearfish. Two. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that is K number 5 for Zach Weitzel. 2 down with a man on first here in the top of the 5th. That'll bring us to Cody Garnis. Garnis is 0 for 2. Struck out and he grounded out to second. And his first pitch is a fastball outside, 1-0. Post 22, a 19-0 lead on 17 hits. Zach Weitzel looking for his second consecutive shutout start. Check to first is not there in time. Nice pickoff, though, by Weitzel. It was a tad bit slow, but he had so much pop on the ball that I'd rather him be slow to get that accurate release and then just fling it. Here's the 1-0. Pitch is swung on, hit right up the middle. Weitzel bats it down. He fields it, and he will hang on to the ball. Infield single for Cody Garnis. That will advance Zucker to scoring position at second. 2-out single. And that'll bring us to Zach Kozel and his batting order spot, which is now by the lefty Logan Ammerman. Hammerman came in to play second base on a defensive substitution with Gusso moving to short. First pitch skips by Stevens, and that'll be ball one, and everyone will advance a base on the wild pitch. 1-0 the count here to Hammerman. 2 men in scoring position for him with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Weitzel just threw his 75th pitch of the start. 1-0 pitch. And that misses low, 2-0. And here's the 2-0. Called strike at his knees. Nice fastball from Weitzel. It's 2-1. Two balls and a strike to count. Pitch swung on, balls flared in the air to left. Weaver comes in on the run and is unable to make the catch. It went right by him, and 2 runs are going to score. And the Hardhats lead has now been cut to 19-2 with 2 outs and a man on first here in the top of the 5th. Branson Keel was substituted into left field, and he couldn't come up with the catch, and that'll be an E7. And it knocks in 2 runs. 19-2, Weitzel loses the shutout. And the next batter coming up is Connor Glassford, the catcher. Glassford chops one down the third baseline. Glassford is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a hit by pitch. No balls, 2 strikes quickly to Glassford. And here comes Weitzel's 0-2. Swung on, balls hit right up the middle. Bowman, the stop at short, easy toss to Messenger. And that'll get the play at second to end the inning. And it looks like this ball game is going to keep going. 19-2 is the Hardhats lead. They're up by 17 as the Hardhats give up 2 runs on a hit with an error charged to them in the field and a man left on the base path. 19-2 the lead. We'll be right back with the bottom half of the 5th. Ryan Schmidt, the DH, to lead off, barring any substitutions for the Hardhats. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. To say that the Hardhats offense has been potent here in this ball game is an understatement. 19 runs on 17 hits and now 1 error in the field for Post 22 against Spearfish. 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for Spearfish Post 164 against the Hardhats. Zach Weitzel has been unbelievable with 5 innings of work under his belt and 80 pitches. And he has struck out 5 in the start as well. Barring any substitutions, the Hardhats will go to Schmidt, Messenger, and King. And it looks like we're right on at least the first 2 as Schmidt's about to swing and Messenger is in the on-deck circle. Drew Gusso back on the mound in relief, the 3rd pitcher used by Spearfish in this game. Gusso got the start against the Hardhats on May 8th, and he went 7 innings. And he gave up 6 runs, but only half of them were earned. His Spearfish defense gave him virtually no help. No other substitutions for Spearfish as we begin the bottom half of the 5th. Hardhats with a 17-run lead. And the first pitch to Ryan Schmidt's a called strike inside. It's 0-1. Schmidt's 1 for 3. Pair of strikeouts, an RBI single, and a run scored. Gusso, the righty, sets right back in. Here is his 0-1 pitch. Swung on, balls hit to third, and by a diving Parker Laux, and into left for a base hit. So Schmidt gets his 2nd hit in as many at-bats. Start off the bottom half of the 5th. And that'll bring up Mason Messenger, who's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. Messenger on the season has yet to hit an extra base hit. 12 singles on the year for him. And his first pitch is low and inside, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Messenger with a man on first. No one out here in the bottom of the 5th. Hardhats up 19-2. Good start to the week for them. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, ball's chopped to third, and it's foul. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike to the Hardhat second baseman. Connor King is in the on-deck circle, so we are right with everybody who's scheduled to hit. 1-1 to Messenger. Breaking ball is upstairs, 2-1. Schmidt singled, Messenger in the middle of a 2-1 battle. Connor King will take swings for a fifth time, following Messenger's at-bat. 2-1 pitch, low and inside, 3-1. And Gusso is a pitch away from issuing his first walk in relief. 3-1. Called strike on the outside corner, just barely clipped it. And the count goes full. Payoff pitch here for Gusso to Messenger. And he deals. Swung on, that ball's turned on, but foul. Third base side, and the count will hold full. Gusso threw 94 pitches, if my memory serves me correctly, in that start against the Hardhats, and that is correct. Struck out a pair, walked a pair. Gave him 9 hits, 6 runs, but only half of them were earned. Payoff pitch number 2 coming to Messenger. And Gusso deals. Breaking ball high and inside, ball 4. So Schmidt will advance to second as Messenger draws the walk. First and second here in the bottom of the 5th. Still no one out. We'll come back to the leadoff man, the lefty, Connor King. King's 1 for 2 with a single, a pair of walks, 3 runs scored for the Hardhat center fielder. First pitch, low and away, ball 1. 1-0 here to King. Hardhats up 19-2. Looking to continue pile driving that lead. Next pitch to King, a called strike. And it's 1-1. 1-1 pitch. And that missed. 2 balls and a strike now to King. 2-1 the count. King has men on first and second with no one out here in the bottom of the 5th. And the next pitch is low and away. 3-1. There is still 1 base unoccupied, so they have somewhere to put King if the next pitch is ball 4. And here comes the 3-1. And that misses low for ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued by Gusso. Laux comes in to have a quick word with his shortstop turned reliever. And now Matt Hegre comes up with the bases loaded and still no one out here in the bottom half of the 5th. Post 22, a 19-2 lead. Gusso, full windup. First pitch, called strike. Outside corner, it's 0-1. No balls and a strike. Gusso again, full windup, deals. Pitch is swung on, turned high in the air to left field, but it is foul. And out of play, and Hegre quickly behind 0-2. Hegre was the first Hardhat to hit a home run this year. And he hit a 3-run blast in Billings when he did it. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, the ball's pushed foul. Nice fight off there by Hegre. He does have 2 home runs of the season, 1 here on this field and 1 on the road that we had just mentioned in Billings. No balls and 2 strikes. And here is the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's the second time that he has struck out, and it's the second time that Gusso has handed out a strikeout. Base is still loaded, and that's going to bring up Ryan Bachman. Ryan Bachman is making his post-22 debut. He came in to pinch run for Cooper Bowman and will now take his first swings as a varsity hard hat. And his first pitch is swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to left field. Chasing it is Garnis, and Garnis can't make the catch. It drops. It's a fair ball. It goes all the way to the wall. Everybody's going to come around and score. A bases clearing RBI double for Ryan Bachman, his first hit as a hard hat. And the Hard Hats are up 20. It's 22-2 with one out and a man on second here in the bottom of the 5th. Well, that's a hit he'll never forget. A one-out RBI double to clear the bases. And now here comes Jack Sorensen with a man on second. His first pitch is low and away, and Bachman's going to take third. Wild pitch will bring him 90 feet from scoring his second run as a hard hat. And Sorensen starts off with a 1-0 count. And the 1-0 called strike to Jack Sorensen. It's 1-1. Sorensen 0 for 1. Popped out in that monster bottom half of the 4th the Hard Hats had. Here's 1-1. And that is high and away, 2 balls and a strike. Here is the 2-1. Swung on and missed. And the count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. Gusso looking for his third K in relief. And the 2-2 to Sorensen. Called, strike 3. And that sits Sorensen down. 2 down with a man on third. And that'll bring up Holden Jackson hitting for Zach Sumption. And his first pitch is low and inside for ball 1. No balls and a strike the count here to Jackson. Holden Jackson comes into this matchup batting .370. And his next pitch is swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to left center field. Woods is underneath it. He makes the catch. And Spearfish ends the inning. In the bottom half of this 5th, the Hard Hats added 3 runs on the power of 2 hits. There were no errors charged to Spearfish. And there was 1 man left on the base path 90 feet from scoring. We have played 5 innings of baseball, and Post 22 has their biggest lead of the entire season, 22-2. We'll take a step aside, and we'll come right back with the top half of the 6th inning, folks, here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Couple of defensive substitutions for the Hardhats now. The evening of Zach Weitzel has come to an end. 5 innings in which he allowed 2 runs on 5 hits. He struck out 5, he walked 2. Excuse me, he walked 1, and he hit 1. And he did it all on 80 pitches. Job well done for Zach Weitzel, who now gives way to Holden Jackson. Jackson came in to hit in the bottom half of the 5th for Zach Sumption. And there has been another shuffling in the outfield as Drew Messer is now playing in right. And Jackson will go up against Parker Laux to start. First pitch, swung on, fouled. Laux, Gusso, and Cook due up, barring any substitutions for Spearfish. Holden Jackson pitching. Coming into this matchup, 20 innings, worked on the dot. His 7th appearance and his 3rd by virtue of relief. Perfect 3-0 record. 0-1 to Laux, misses low, and the count evens at 1-1. Jackson has an ERA of 1.4, 16 strikeouts to 10 walks. And 2 hit batsmen on the year. 1-1 to Laux. Pitch is swung on, hit to the right side of the infield. Making the stop is Messenger from his knees. Throw to first is in time. No, they're saying he's off the bag. Oh my goodness, they're saying he was off the bag and he's safe. That's a tough swing. That looked like Jack Sorensen had the ball trapped and he still maintained contact, but they're saying the throw took him off. And they're going to call that an infield hit for Laux. So a lead-off infield hit now brings up Drew Gusso. And Gusso looks up all 1 from Jackson. That's a tough swing for the Hardhats. Looked like he was in time. Here's a 1-0. That misses low and it skips away. And it goes all the way to the backstop. Colton Tipton in the game at catcher was unable to make the stop. 2-0 to Gusso, and Laux moves to second. And here comes the 2-0. Called strike. 2-1 to Gusso. Gusso's 0 for 2 on the ballgame. Popped out to short, lined out to center. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch is fouled. 2-2. We're in the top of the 6th. Hardhats have a 22-2 lead. That is no joke. 22 runs, 19 hits, an error. Spearfish, 2 runs, 6 hits, and a pair of errors. Here's a 2-2. Breaking ball upstairs, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jackson from the stretch. Payoff is just fouled by Gusso. And the count will hold full at 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Jackson from the stretch again. Payoff number 2. Swung on, ball's hit to short. Bowman, the easy scoop. Throw to first in time for the out. 1 down as Laux heads to third. That's going to bring up Cameron Cook. And that's actually Mason Messenger, my apologies, that moved over to short. Oh, Hegre. Matt Hegre moved. So they've got Bachman over at third, Messenger over at short, and Hegre over at second. As Cook looks at an 0-1 pitch from Jackson. And unable to take third was Laux on that bit of indecision over there. 1-1 now the count on the pitch from Jackson to Cook. Cook is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout looking. And here comes the 1-1. Swung on and missed. Cook behind 1-2. So Hegre at second, Messenger at short, Bachman at third, and Sorensen at first. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Caught him looking, strike three. There's strikeout number one for Jackson in relief. 2 down with a man on third. That'll bring up David Zucker. Zucker is 0 for 1 with a pop out into a double play, a walk and a run scored, and he looks at a breaking ball strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Hardhats up 22-2. We're in the top of the 6th inning. And here is the 0-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2 to Zucker. Jackson's looking for back-to-back strikeouts. That would end the top half of the 6th. Here is the 0-2. Just missed outside. 1-2 on the fastball. No balls, ball and 2 strikes, excuse me. Time called by Zucker. Jackson set. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and just fouled. And the count will hold at 1-2. And here comes the 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike three, and that'll do it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jackson ends the top half of the 6th. No runs on a hit with no errors and a man left standing on third. We played 5.5 innings of baseball in post 22 as a 22-2 lead coming into the bottom half of the 6th. We'll take a step aside and come right back, folks, here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Another change on the mound for Spearfish as Drew Gusso's relief appearance has come to an end. Cody Garnis now comes in from left to pitch for Gusso, who is now out of the game. And Tayton Rhodes comes in to play left field. Drew Gusso only pitched an inning and a third. And he gave up 2 hits and 3 runs. Struck out a pair in the relief appearance. My apologies. He struck out 3 and he walked 2. And Gusso did it all on 30 pitches, so a nice relief outing for him. And so now, first pitch from Garnis comes into Branson Keel, who came in left field for Alex Weaver. Is low for ball 1. Garnis, 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball upstairs, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes to Branson Keel. Batting .200 on the year. 2-0 pitch. Called strike at his knees. Breaking ball. It's 2-1. Garnets takes his time. Full windup. 2-1 to Keel. Swung on. Ball's lined right up the middle and into center for a base hit. Branson Keel gets a hit in his first at-bat. Substituted in the lineup. That'll bring us to Colton Tipton. He came into the game to catch for Todd Stevens. And Tipton will take his first swings. First pitch swung on, balls hit by Laux on the third base line and into left for a base hit, and everybody's going to advance one. Tipton to first, Keel in scoring position to second. And that'll bring up Drew Messer, who came in to play right field. Drew Messer has only taken one at-bat. He is 0 for 1. Looking for his first hit of the season. And his first pitch gets away from the catcher, and Branson Keel's the only one to run. So it'll be men on the corners. 1-0 to Messer. Comes in for Ryan Schmidt, who went 2 for 4. Men on the corners for him now. He could get also his first RBI as a hard hat. Looking for his first hit. Here's a 1-0. Misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 to Messer. Tipton on first, Keel on third. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Pitch is swung on, ball's hit high in the air to left center. Underneath, it's Taylor Woods. He makes the catch. Tagging up from third and heading home is Branson Keel. It'll be a sac fly RBI for Drew Messer. His first run batted in as a hard hat, and with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, the Hard Hats lead is now 23-2. Still on first is Colton Tipton. This will bring up Mason Messenger, who moved over to shortstop. Check to first is not there. And the first pitch swung on, ball's hit to second. Stops made on the play and short by Janovi. Throw to second for 1, throw to first for 2, and they didn't get it. So Tipton's out going to second. That'll be a 6-4 fielder's choice that allows Messenger to stay on. 2 down as we go back to the top of the order, and Connor King remains in the lineup amidst all these changes. King has walked 3 times in this ballgame. He's 1 for 2 with a single as well. Every time he's been on the base path, he's come around to score. So that is 4 runs plated for King. Only lefty in the hard hat lineup. First pitch. Outside, low and away. 1-0. Matt Heggery's on deck if we get that far. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. A 23-2 lead. Next pitch swung on. Ball's hit to first. Stop is made on the play by Cook. Tags the bag himself. And the 3 unassisted will end the inning. So for the Hard Hats, it was a run on 2 hits. No errors charged to Spearfish and a man left on the base path. We have played 6 innings of baseball. And the Hard Hats are now 3 outs away from ending this game early. 23-2 their lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. One more pitching change for the Hardhats in this ball game. Now sees Tad Sherbinski out on the mound in place of Holden Jackson. Jackson only went the 1 inning, allowed a hit, struck out a pair, didn't walk anyone. Didn't give up a run either on 18 pitches. Now Tad Sherbinski takes over, and Sherbinski comes in for his 7th appearance of the season, his 6th in relief. He has a 3-0 record and has 1-for-1 in save opportunities in 18 1/3 innings of work. A 3.06 ERA, 14 strikeouts to 7 walks on the season. Sherbinski will see 9-1-2 in the Spearfish order. If he can mow down 3, the Hardhats are out of this with a 23-2 win. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats through 6, 23 runs, 21 hits on 1 error in the field. And for Spearfish, it's 2 runs on 6 hits and a pair of errors. Mark Minetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, streamed live on Hardhats-TV on the internet. The first man for Tad Sherbinski to face is number 11, Josh Johnson, coming in for Taylor Woods. Woods finished 0 for 2 with a ground out to short and a fly out to center. Tad Sherbinski, his first batter faced. First pitch strike. Fastball at the knees, 0-1. Barring any substitutions from here, it'll be Johnson, Janovy, and Garnis in that order. Here's the 0-1. Pitch is fouled off, and Sherbinski's ahead 0-2. Last time Sherbinski played was against the Sheridan Troopers. He went 5 innings in the start and got the win. He allowed 2 earned runs, struck out 4 and walked 4. Allowed 2 hits. Here is the 0-2 from Sherbinski. Caught him looking, strike 3. Strikeout number 1 for Sherbinski on a batter faced. 1 up, 1 down. The Hardhats 2 outs away from this monster win. And that's going to bring us to the top of the order, and hitting for Taylor Janovy is number 14, Braden Baker. And he takes over for Janovy, who went 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. 0-1 the count here to Baker, very early from Sherbinski. And the 0-1 is a called strike, 0-2. Baker, a left-handed batter, so Sherbinski gets the offhand matchup. The righty Sherbinski deals the 0-2, and that's low and away. Ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Baker. Base path empty, 1 out, top of the 7th. Hardhats up 21, and the 1-2 is swung on and missed. Strike 3 for out number 2 in the inning. Sherbinski, 2 gentlemen faced, 2 Ks in the book. And that will bring us to our final pinch hitter, potentially. Number 15, Dylan Craig. Craig comes in for Garnis, who went 1 for 3, and his first pitch is fought off foul, third base side. 0-1. Tad Sherbinski needs 1 more out to give the Hardhats a 21-run win. Here is the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Now Sherbinski's a strike away from striking out the side and ending a catastrophic ball game for Spearfish. 0-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3, and that's going to end it. Tad Sherbinski strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down, 3 Ks, and the Hardhats end the game early. 23-2. 23 runs, 21 hits on an error for Spearfish, 2 runs, 6 hits, a pair of errors. Zach Weitzel gets the win. He got the start. This game officially finished at 9:08, so it went 2 hours and 6 minutes. Zach Weitzel started it off very well the first 5 innings of the ball game. And Weitzel is now 4-0 on the season. Folks, we'll take a quick breather. When we come back, we will briefly recap this blowout ball game and then set the table for the Veterans Classic this week and give you the schedule, everything that you need to know about these matchups moving forward. We'll be right back, folks, here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Folks, there is not much to say about this one. Post 22 stomped Spearfish. The final score, 23-2. That is not a typo. Dead serious. Final numbers across the board for the Hardhats, 23 runs, 21 hits, 1 error in the field. And for Spearfish, it was 2 runs on 6 hits with a pair of errors. Thanks again so much for joining us for another Tuesday night of baseball, folks. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Post 22 dominated this one from start to finish, and it started in the bottom half of the first inning. A 2-out rally spearheaded by none other than Cooper Bowman, who on a full count to his last strike in the frame, bombed it over the left field wall to give the Hardhats a 1-0 lead. He sparked a 2-out rally that allowed the Hardhats to put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the second, post 22. Thanks to 4 consecutive base runners, we're allowed to get 3 runs in the frame, 7-0 after 2 innings. Both teams exchanged zeros in the third, and then the 4th inning is where everything got out of hand. In the bottom of the 4th, the Hardhats batted through 16 batters. Here's how the inning went. Connor King led off with a single. He scored. Matt Hegre doubled. He scored. Cooper Bowman, a 2-run RBI single. He scored. Jace Caldwell, an RBI triple. He scored. Zach Sumption lined out to short. Alex Weaver, RBI double. He scored. Todd Stevens, RBI single. He scored. Ryan Schmidt, RBI single. He scored. Mason Messenger single. Connor King walked. He scored. Matt Hegre hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. He scored. Cooper Bowman, an RBI single again. His pinch runner, Ryan Bachman, would score. Jack Sorensen popped out to second. Zach Sumption hit a bases-clearing RBI triple with the bases loaded. Alex Weaver hit another RBI double. And Todd Stevens struck out looking to end the inning. 12 runs on 11 hits, no errors, and a man left on base. It was an incredible 4th inning for the Hardhats that powered them to this big win, 23-2 over Spearfish. Once again, final numbers across the board for the Hardhats. It was 23 runs on 21 hits, 1 error in the field. Spearfish, it was 2 runs on 6 hits with a pair of errors as well. Post 22 has advanced their record now to 22-4 on the season. And now they take a day off and get ready for the Veterans Classic this week. They will play the night games in all days of the schedule this week. Starting off on the 14th on Thursday night, as they'll take on Excelsior Minnetonka, an old Central Plains Regional and Gopher Classic rival of the Hardhats, and a Firecracker rival as well. So it'll be great to see them back here for the first time in quite some time. Following that matchup on the 14th, the Hardhats will then not see any action until Friday the 15th, where they will also play at 7 o'clock against the NoCo Roughnecks, out of northern Colorado. We'll go to Saturday, and then the Hardhats will play in a doubleheader starting at 4 o'clock. They will first take on Taconite, Minnesota, and they will then take on the Billings Royals to follow roughly around 7 o'clock. Depending on how they do, they could either play at 10 in the morning on Sunday, 1 in the afternoon, or 4 in the afternoon on Sunday. All the rules of the Veterans Classic are governed by the American Legion Rulebook. All games are 7 innings long, and instead of a 10-run rule, there is an 8-run rule after 4.5 or 5 innings, and a 15-run rule after 2.5 or 3 innings. So depending on how the Hard Hats play, these games can either go very quickly or very slow. We'll have to see what happens, but great competition coming up this week. Check out all the action on ESPN Rapid City. We will be here for the entire tournament. For all of us with the Hard Hats organization, from General Manager Wayne Sullivan all the way to Head Coach Calvin Torvey and company, and to all of our friends at Halgo Broadcasting at ESPN Rapid City, Chris Halgo and Ian Rambo in particular, they've been so helpful throughout the entire season. This is Mark Benetti saying so long and good night, and we will see you Thursday night for the first matchup of the Veterans Classic against Excelsior Minnetonka. Good night, everyone, and we'll see you